Being a new player in Monster Hunter or even a seasoned veteran can sometimes be rough. Monsters hit hard, you faint once, twice, 3 and yeah, it happens. Don't sweat it. But it can also cause some frustration. In this video, I'm going to show you the best defensive skills you can use in Monster Hunter World. Otherwise, just get yourself a pocket sword and shield player who chugs potions faster than Tiger X can even run at you. We're starting this list with my personal favorite, Evade Window. I love it. Evade Window is probably the best defensive skill in the game, since it's proactive. This means it helps you to avoid taking any damage instead of mitigating the damage you take. It also allows you to roll nearly any attack that's thrown at you. Obviously, Evade Window requires you to know attack patterns pretty well, as otherwise you will roll too early or too late. Another reason why Evade Window is so good is because it comes for free in level 4 decos with many other skills like Peak Performance, Critical Boost, and so on. I suggest running Evade Window if you are someone who wants to take Monster Hunter to the next level and take the game a tad more serious. If you're just looking to mess around in the game for fun, it might be wise to look at other skills that I'll cover in the video. If there is any other defensive skill in this game that I would highly recommend to everyone, it would be Health Boost. It is probably the universally best defensive skill in the game, as it just allows you to take more damage, survive really big hits you might take, and just in general covers everything a good defensive skill should have. You can obviously run Health Boost alongside Evade Window or any skill, and it will simply always shine. We all make mistakes, we all get hit, and Health Boost is there to save us from that final card. It is probably near mandatory in my opinion, unless of course you are a speedrunner. If you play online in multiplayer, please don't ever join hunts without this, because it is partially griefing to not run Health Boost 3. If you are looking for more defensive skills, or just don't like Evade Window as much as I do, don't worry, I got a few more skills that are pretty good to help you out. If you face yourself struggling with a monster, or just rather turn your brain off while hunting, I got your solution. Divine Blessing 5. It is overpowered and broken in my opinion. The only reason I didn't rank it above Evade Window is because it teaches you bad habits. Divine Blessing at level 5 reduces your damage taken by an insane 60%. That's a lot of damage that just disappears into the void. According to several websites I found, the proc rate is also at an insane 40%. That means you reduce 60% of the damage you take nearly every second hit. That's pretty nasty. But please remember, sometimes RNG reminds you that it is indeed RNG and you can still get hit 10 times in a row without it proccing. On top of that, please also always run Health Boost 2 or 3 if you bank on Divine Blessing. Running it by itself will still give you that crazy one-shot from time to time. Still, Divine Blessing 5 is absolutely insane. If you don't know how to get level 5, you can unlock it with Golden Rathian Armor. By the way, if you happen to struggle with Fatalis, Divine Blessing 5 might be your ticket out of Fatalis jail. Next up, another big defensive skill that is often overlooked is Tool Specialist. If you not like to rely on your own dodging skills nor RNG from Divine Blessing, Tool Specialist is your next best option. It reduces the recovery time of your tools like mantles or boosters by a massive 50% at level 5. This means if you run Temporal and Rocksteady or Vitality Mantle, your uptime on those mantles will be really high, up to a point where it's nearly for the full hunt. You can unlock the Tool Specialist secret, aka level 5, with the Lunastra armor set or by having Fatalis 2-piece. If you're still watching at this moment, that means you are enjoying the video. That also means you should be hitting the like and subscribe button below the video. Please take a second to just do that now, that would be really nice. And as a side note, I also stream on Twitch and here on YouTube my Monster Hunter journey, so make sure to check out the channels. Thank you so much. Let's move on. Before I continue with some more specific defensive skills, elemental resistances are okay. They're not the best nor the worst. In case you're struggling with a monster that does high amount of elemental damage, it could be an advantage to slot or eat for elemental defense. Keep in mind, blights of that element are negated at 20 elemental defense. As an example, if you have 20 fire resistance, you cannot get fire blight anymore. This is important in case you either want to be immune to certain blight effects or if you are running coalescence, as it would drastically lower its proc chances if you are immune to any given blight effect. Now, even though you will mostly use the already mentioned defensive skills in your Monster Hunter journey, there are a few more that I would call situational. They should be ran in specific cases where you know you might or will need them. One of those skills would be Resuscitate. This beautifully named skill can come in handy for certain weapon types that rely a lot on stamina, like bow or dual blades. If you're fighting a monster that can cause water blight or ice blight, Resuscitate will pretty much negate these blights just by being on your gear. I personally think it's very comfortable for stamina intensive weapons. Another one on this list would be Blight Resistance. It can be a huge game changer if you pair Blight Resistance with Coalescence, as you can combine it for very quick activation. Blight Resistance basically reduces the amount of time or rolls you need to get rid of certain blights. For example, in case you would be running Blight Resistance 2, you would only need one single roll to get rid of Fire Blight. For those of you who have fought Raging Brochidios, you will understand this honorable mention. Anti-Blast Decos. Yes, Blast is probably one of the worst debuffs this game has. It takes ages to roll off, and if you forget about it, it will make your day miserable. So slotting Anti-Blast against specific monsters like Raging Brochidios and Teostra is absolutely okay and a game changer. There are a lot more skills that are very situational, and I will quickly give them some honorable mentions before we are ending this video. Stun resistance is awesome and comes for free with the Fatalis headpiece. Huge quality of life, not necessary though. Effluvia resistance, just because Valhazak exists, must run if you plan on farming him. Guard and guard up for weapons that can make use of it, like the Charge Blade. Guard in this case being near mandatory for guard pointing, but I don't want to get too much into it. Just know that running Guard 3 is pretty standard on Charge Blade, for example. Cooling Jewel if you are taking on Teostra, or dare I say our all-time favorite Lunastra. And lastly, you should know this, but if you don't, please always run Flinch Free, aka Brace, if you are participating in multiplayer hunts. It is absolutely the best defensive skill against any longsword player out there. And you will meet them. Yes, you will. Any other skill that did not make this list is, in my opinion, simply put, not worth running. It's either not good enough to mention or not good enough to replace other more important skills. Sure, taking Sleep Res against a Nightshade Palomu is comfortable, but it's far from necessary. In the end, it's all up to you if you want to customize your hunting sets towards specific monsters. There is only one skill that I beg you to never ever even consider running. It is an absolute waste of slots in your armor, and you will only notice it because you think you take less damage, but you actually don't. Well, you do a little bit, but it's so small you don't notice it. Just please don't ever slot it. It is really, really, really bad. Like, really bad. It's a trap. Don't run it. Just don't. Trust me on this. It's not good. It's not worth. And I really want to mention it a lot, that it's really bad, that you should know how bad it is, and that you should never run defensive boost. Thank you for not running defensive boost. Thank you. We appreciate it. All of us appreciate it that you don't run defensive boost. Have a good day.